Welcome to the Rum Revival. My name's Arminder, and today I'm drinking a brand new rum from Thailand. This is Shakara 12 year. Now there's a lot to get into when it comes to this rum. First off, just at a high level, we don't get a whole lot of rums from Thailand. We've had some independent bottler releases here and there, but they're few and far between, so anytime we get a new one, I think it's something to get excited about. So Shakara is actually a brand created and imported in by Lemison and Velier. They had the opportunity to source and buy this 12-year-old rum from Thailand in bulk, and then they crafted a whole brand around it for export. And I think it's worth spending a bit of time looking at exactly how they went about creating the brand to give the rum an identity and look and feel. Let's start off with the name itself, Shakara. Now that's a reference to the Sanskrit word for sugarcane, shakar. And if you read the label and the Shakara and Lemison and Velier websites, the marketing copy there really plays up Thailand's connection to sugarcane and the fertile nature of the region. And in fact, Thailand has a long history when it comes to sugarcane. It was between 8,000 and 6,000 BCE that various wild strains of sugarcane were domesticated in and around Thailand and Southeast Asia. And in terms of the modern day, Thailand is like the third largest producer of sugarcane and sugar in the world. And then there's the label itself, which is eye-catching, and it's leaning into a design aesthetic that heavily evokes aspects of Thai culture. The most striking thing on the label is probably the use of gold. Like in Thailand, gold leaf is traditionally used in paintings and other art, and gold is often incorporated into Buddhist temples and statues. And then right in the middle, within the gold, is a traditional cone mask. Now, cone is a classical Thai dance performance slash drama where the performers wear these incredibly beautiful and detailed masks, which often have gold leaf incorporated into them. I think when you take all of that together, it really paints a very clear identity for the rum. Like, there's no arguing the fact that this rum screams Thailand. So let's actually move on to the rum inside the bottle. The rum was sourced from and made by Thai Bev, which is Thailand's largest beverage company. They own and produce a number of alcohol brands, including Chang Beer, Sangsum Rum, and Mekhang, which is a molasses and rice spirit, as well as a bunch of soda and tea brands. Now the company has 19 distilleries throughout mostly Thailand, but also in the UK and China. In addition to that, they have 3 breweries and 21 non-alcoholic beverage production facilities. So all told, it's a pretty big company and operation. While the exact Thai Bev distillery where the rum is made is actually not disclosed, we do know it's made in the Nakhon Pathom province in central Thailand. Now in terms of the rum itself, it's made from molasses from sugarcane grown in Thailand. It's column distilled and then tropically aged 12 years in ex-bourbon casks and bottled additive free at 45.7% ABV. All pretty straightforward stuff. All right, let's give it a taste. So on the nose, like immediately, the first thing that I get is like a note of cola, or like specifically like Dr. Pepper maybe. And there is a little touch of like cough syrup as well. However, once your nose gets used to it and it really opens up, then I start noticing caramel and some light stone fruit. So it starts off with a little bit of like light salted caramel. There's also some like dried fruits there as well, primarily figs. And maybe there's even like a note of like cherry cola syrup. Now those notes are mostly apparent on the first few sips. And they're all frankly, pretty straightforward stuff. Good and tasty, but nothing flashy. But then it opens up. And within that salted caramel, in the back half, you start noticing this note that's like a touch medicinal, something like that's in the neighborhood between like licorice and absinthe, or maybe something that's like between incense and pine needles. It's not a note that I often associate with rum. And it's a bit tough to exactly put my finger on it. In a way, it's also like taking a bite out of a green mint leaf. It's less so about the mintiness and more about that bitter green vegetalness of the leaf, if that makes sense. And then on the finish is primarily that pine, licorice, green leaf note with maybe a touch of that cherry cola. Now in terms of presence on the palate and body, this isn't a robust pot still rum, so it doesn't linger as much as a rum like that would. It's a clean and rounded experience that has like a unique flavor twist. Now here's the thing, without that medicinal piney note, the rum would maybe just be kind of like a run-of-the-mill, easy drinking rum. Like not much there to challenge you, but tasty enough. But with that medicinal pine note, suddenly it has angles to it, like some depth and dimension to it, something you can kind of hook yourself onto. So I think the rum is somehow able to manage to be two things at the same time, almost like the best of both worlds. At one blush, it's easy drinking and approachable, like a dependable daily sipper. On the other hand, it has this alluring back end that will make you stand up and pay attention to it. That being said, I don't think like the medicinal pine note has such strong flavor that it would turn someone off. I think it's very well integrated within that more straightforward caramel note. Now at a higher proof, maybe it might be too strong and overpowering, but at 45.7%, I think it strikes the right balance. So I think it's good rum, and priced around $55 to say $65 for a tropically aged 12-year rum that's more than the bog standard of 40 to 43% ABV, well, I think that's good math. Well, there you go. That's my video on the Shakara 12-year. I hope you found it informative. Now, if you're interested in checking out some exclusive behind-the-scenes content, first impressions videos where I try a rum for the very first time and give my gut reaction to it, then consider checking out and supporting me on Patreon. I have tons of content there that I think you'll like. Lastly, I'd love to know if you've had rums from Thailand or Southeast Asia before and what you think of them, and if you plan on getting the Shakara 12-year. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you next time. Cheers.